fictitious. I started my career in 1997 in the United States Border Patrol. It was one of the most violent times in recent Border Patrol history. I made my bones and my reputation on that border. I believe what is happening on the border today is intentional.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them.
Our own government is facilitating the absolute destruction of the American immigration system, and I can prove it point by point. I'm unafraid to speak the truth. This is just data-driven and experience-driven.
That time, and I hate to say, with all the positive energy President Trump has brought, it's still a dark specter. This imperial capital is probably, and I tell you why. They understand there's an internal civil war here, that one side's going to win and one side's going to lose. Their belief is they're going to wait us out. That for all the Tucker Carlsons and Steve Bannons and other people around President Trump are sitting there going, the Bobby Kennedys, right, and other people that know how this apparatus works at every level and are sitting there going, we have to do this now. They believe that they will wait President Trump out. And I don't put a possibility of an assassination. If President Trump is to go too far into this and bring you into that, do not think, they would not think of an assassination attempt. They have no intention of turning over control and power of the most powerful empire in man's history. It has to be taken from them. And I tell people, we either do it now. If we don't do it now, this wave of kind of people that have come together, we're not going to be able to do it. And if we don't do it, I'm not sure we win another election, because I think they're going to force us into doing either not deporting the 10 million, right, and not securing the border, not forcing China, and not really cutting tough deals that start to bring real high value-added manufacturing jobs back, because Wall Street doesn't want that. They think our labor cost is too high. They think the environmental cost is too high. They love the slave labor of Lao Wai-Jing. And most importantly, they're not going to stop the war machine. They're not going to stop. And I'm not a pacifist. I spent 8 years of my life as a naval officer. My daughter went to West Point. She fought in Iraq in 2010 under Obama, right? It's not that we're pacifists. We see what we see. And what we see now is a very evil specter over this imperial capital. And one side is going to win, the President Trump kind of rebels or revolutionaries versus this Praetorian Guard apparatus. And that's why this fight, to me, is going to happen the next 200 or 300 days. We're going to know what side this is going. We're going to know if there's enough momentum on our side to actually win.
Welcome to Truth with J.J. Carrell. That 2-minute clip with Steve Bannon, he jammed in basically everything we talk about today on my show. If Donald Trump pushes far enough deep into this cesspool of moral decay, corruption, government tyranny, they are going to try to kill him. I've said that. Tucker Carlson said that. Steve Bannon's now saying it. That's the truth. They have no other recourse, because they know exactly what we know on the right, and that is there is no other Donald Trump. There's no one going to stand in his stead. Who's going to do that? J.D. Vance? J.D. Vance is not going to be able to do the things that Donald Trump's able to do. J.D. Vance is not going to command the same respect through foreign nations. He's just not. And they're going to test him immediately, because chaos will rule in America. Thus, that's why I believe that there are probably multiple attempts on Trump's life being planned right now. I believe that. The left are violent. The left are vile people. And I believe something else Steve Bannon said that is equally important as the assassination of Donald Trump is, if we do not, meaning the government, Donald Trump, does not clean this up, like go deep, deep into it, if there's no arrest, if there is not major change, if there is, let's say they don't arrest and deport all these illegal aliens, and we go to a third world war by going in to help Israel against Iran, what will happen, and I believe this to be absolutely spot on, the vast majority of Americans that have coalesced around the MAGA movement will just disappear. We will be like this amazing group of people, just massive amounts of people flocking to hear someone speak, and we're sitting there and we're on edge. We're finally going to do take our government back, and then we get some limp-wristed, limp noodle speech, and we all just kind of our shoulders kind of slump down, and our heads go down, and we just we don't say anything. We don't riot like the left. We just walk away because we're so discouraged, because we've been discouraged and beaten down for so long that we finally see that we have a chance. And if that chance is not exploited and taken to the nth degree, we're not going to be satisfied, and we are going to believe that the system is forever broken and can never, ever be fixed. And then we will walk away. You can have another Trump rise up, can have another populist, and everyone's going to go, especially the people within that generation that walked away, is going to look and say, I've already been there before. I'm not expending not one moment of my energy, because I need all the energy I have just to survive in this corrupt world and in this corrupt government and country called America. I believe that. I believe that is exactly what is going to happen if Donald Trump does not go to the nth degree. That is a lot to throw on one man. That is an amazing amount of expectation. I give Donald Trump, like yesterday, I'm raging angry that he's trying to give a quasi-amnesty to farm workers and service workers. And at the same time that I'm angry that somebody got to him and convinced him that was a good idea. Or maybe he just thinks in a business term and not thinking all the way through, and he changed his mind yesterday. But I have to give him immense amount of grace and at the same time support, because what he is trying to do, what he is trying to overcome, is beyond even anyone's comprehension. I think I know what he has to tackle. But I know instinctively that that's just the tip of the iceberg. Think of what that man has to make hard strategic decisions every day, probably by the hundreds, like chess move. Like, I need to think about this. I need to make sure that I'm correct, but he doesn't have time. He doesn't have the resources. He has to make these decisions the best way he can, because the apparatus of the federal government is so corrupt. I know it's corrupt. I've seen it. I lived it. I know it. But even I don't know to the level and depth of the corruption, of the incompetency, of the acceptance of the politicians that, that's just the way it is, with no desire to really make substantial change. It's got to be maddening. But we need to listen to people like Steve Bannon. He's been there. He knows. We need to listen to people like Tucker Carlson. He lived it. He knows. Here's another man that knows. We've had him on our show, retired Colonel Douglas McGregor. Listen to what he says about the war is coming, and that he believes Trump doesn't want to go to war. But he's being boxed in by the neocons, by the Lindsey Grahams. Who has his ear? Play this for me, please, Logan.
The problem is this, and this is most important, Cyrus. If you're President Trump, you sit down with your political advisors, whomever he's talking to these days, probably Lutnick and Witkoff, who are both fervent Zionists, and he says, well, how many senators do I control in a crucial vote in the Senate? And how many senators does Mr. Netanyahu control in a crucial vote in the Senate? Answer, Mr. Netanyahu controls more of the Senate than Donald Trump.
Wow.
That's probably also true for the House. That's why Washington is this fantasy island. Everybody who lives there is stuffing their pockets full of cash that they get from various lobbies and kickbacks because of their support for military equipment going all over the world, or the commitment of U.S. forces somewhere. Donald Trump doesn't seem to have any control over any of it. What can he do? I don't know if you saw him I think it was yesterday, where he was asked directly about Iran.
Right.
And I've seen him in person up close. And this was a very different Donald Trump. He sat there very sort of stone-faced. Well, what about Iran and the negotiations? What's happening? And he sits there and he says, well, they want to enrich uranium, and they can't do that. We can't have that. And they have to give up some other things. meaning theater ballistic missiles and so forth, and they won't do that. So I think I've said it, and it's clear the consequences are very dire. And then he sort of sat there.
Right.
This is not a man who wants to go to war.
Right.
Of course not. He's never wanted to go to war against anybody. But what's he going to do now? He's essentially boxed himself in thanks to his wonderful advisors and his readiness to essentially unconditionally support anything Israel and its agents in this country want. He's stuck. So what's the answer? The answer is we're going to have a war with Iran.
The answer is we're going to have a war with Iran. You have to listen to men like Colonel McGregor. You have to listen to men that have been there and done it, that have proven through their actions and their words that what they've said in the past has come true, because they're looking at it very, very clear-eyed. This is just data. This is scenarios and data, and this is the 2-3 outcomes. And I believe this is the most likely outcome. And when you look at what Colonel McGregor's saying, you have Lindsey Graham. You want to talk about a massive problem, that a foreign leader has more allegiance from the Senate and the House than our president does? And that is, I believe that to be factually true. In fact, let's go all the way back to Iraq War. Who was in our houses of Congress telling us that we have to go to war with Iraq? Well, that would be Bibi Netanyahu. All the way back then, had more access, and he had more say with our senators and congressmen than our own presidents did. And here we are, all the way back to the same damn game, the same damn verbiage. The only thing's different is from weapons of mass destruction to nuclear bombs. That's it. They mean the same thing, but that's the only verbiage that's changed. We have to go there so they don't come here. I mean, we've heard this crap all the way back to Vietnam. Donald Trump doesn't want to go to war. He knows that's a losing. He'll be known as a war president. It's not like Iran came over here and bombed us. Then that's all bets are off. Let's go and let's nuke Iran, blow them to smithereens, and kill everyone we possibly can. And if that kills civilians, well, that's just too bad. You allowed your government to be turned over to a theocracy, then we do it. But they're not bombing us. They're in war with Israel. That's an Israeli war, not an American war. I don't care what Lindsey Don't Ask, Don't Tell Graham says. He doesn't speak for me. I would doubt that he even speaks for even a fraction of the people from South Carolina. This is all connected. I'm going to show you a clip from Bannon's show where he's interviewing Josh Hawley, who I'm a big fan of his, big support, because he speaks the truth, from Missouri. Listen to what he's talking about, the big, beautiful bill, and how the Senate is trying to destroy the most important parts of it. This has everything to do with the Iran war, everything to do with Israel, everything to do with Ukraine. You have the Republican Party now coalescing with each other to destroy Donald Trump's first bill. We're still haggling over crap. Do you think the Democrats, when they were in power, was there any haggling? Was Speaker Johnson haggling with the Democrats, the first CR? And no, Speaker Johnson gave more money than the Democrats requested. Let me just repeat that. They gave them more money, and then the Democrats voted with the gutless rhinos to pass the bill. It wasn't even a Republican-led bill. We held the House, and we turned it over to the Democrats. Listen to Hawley speak. I'm so beside myself with how corrupt our system is.
I'm seeing that all of the populist tax cuts are not through here intact, what the president wanted, and Medicaid's still a little iffy. Can you walk us through your perspective of where we stand, sir?
Yeah, I'm concerned by what the Senate leadership is proposing to do. It's a big departure from what President Trump called for. It's a big departure from what President Trump worked on with the House, to be honest with you. I mean, last night they announced, Senate leadership that is, that they want to roll back some of these Trump tax cuts, the populist tax cuts. No taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime. Those are really reduced in the Senate proposal. I mean, that doesn't make no sense to me at all. Why would we do that? Here's another thing, Steve. They want to extend the Green New Deal subsidies. I mean, I have to tell you, that ought to be a big red line for everybody. Why in the world would we pay to extend Joe Biden's giveaways to China, his giveaways to Wall Street, his giveaways to private equity? It doesn't do anything for middle America. It doesn't do anything for the working class in this country. President Trump ran against it. He was clear. He wants the Green New scam gone. And yet the Senate bill is proposing to extend the Green New scam in a whole bunch of ways and, get this, pay for it by defunding rural hospitals. There's a lot of problems here. I mean, I just look at this and I'm like, why are they throwing the president under the bus? I mean, I look at what the Senate wants to do, and to me, it looks like they're just departing from everything the president has said is his priorities. Here's my message. Just stick with the president. Cut the taxes for working people that the president wants cut. Protect Medicaid like the president said. Get rid of the Green New scam like the president has been doing in his executive orders. It's time for Congress to get into line here and to get on the job. And I tell you, I look at what some of these senators are proposing to do, and I just don't recognize it. I mean, this needs work, is all I can say. We got to get this thing fixed so we can get it to the president's desk.
Listen what Judge Hawley just said. He said they've taken the president's bill, distorted it so much that they give all of the subsidies to all of Wall Street, to the industrial complex, war complex, all at the expense of rural hospitals. That's what we're going to do. We're going to punish U.S. citizens in rural communities in order to fund subsidies to China, to Wall Street, to the Biden family. Right there, just that statement alone proves everything that I've been saying in the show for months, written books about it. Our government is corrupt to the core. Who is this, the leadership? Well, that would be Mitch McConnell and John Thune. Mitch McConnell, no one even knows if he's alive. John Thune, he's just like a statue. I don't even know if he has a heartbeat. He might be a robot. He honestly could just be like a wooden robot. You're going to now take away the most popular 100 people, 100 senators voted for this. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. And now you're going to tax my tips and tax my overtime in order to get the wealthy and the elite more money and more power, which means they will give you, the politicians, more money and more power. America, wake up. Wake up, America. Do you understand we are continually being fleeced? We are continually being robbed right in broad daylight, all under the guise of, well, this is the law. We're the lawmakers. We'll tell you what you're going to do, you peons. When are we going to take our government back? More importantly, this is a question that I have been grappling with for a long time and looking for the signs, and I don't see the signs. When is it going to be when Americans wake up and realize they have stolen everything from me? I'm going to go get my pounded flesh right now. We're not there yet. When is that going to happen? When are we going to take Lindsey Graham's soft, effeminate ass and throw him into the front lines of Ukraine war with Russia? Pick his fat ass up and throw his fat ass into the front lines of Israel and Iran. When are we going to do that? When are we going to take our country back? When? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. It's not now. We're not taking our country back now. Unbelievable. I saw that clip of Josh Hawley and I was like, of course this makes sense. Of course, this is why we've heard nothing about the big, beautiful bill. Nothing. Let me tell you how far we are gone. You have 50 million illegal aliens in America. You have 6,000 ICE officers. Let me repeat that. You have 6,000 ICE officers. Do the math. You're never going to deport these people. Not at this structure. And the big, beautiful bill, everyone touts, well, they're going to hire 10,000 new ICE officers. Okay, let me walk you through this real quick. The time frame. So the bill's not even passed yet. So they don't have the announcement, the job announcement up yet on usajobs.gov. They'll have to post the announcement. They'll have to get candidates. Those candidates will then have to begin the testing process. Then the background process, that will take minimum, even if it's fast tracked, 6 months to a year. Minimum. They will go, let's just say it's 8 months. 8 months before I can say cadet number 1 goes into the academy. Just one, not 10,000. I can probably only do a class of 50. And I maybe be able to stand up 20 classes, and I'm talking that would be Herculean 20 classes. So 1,000. Let's say we get 1,000 in day 1. That we're already, before they even go in and sign their name for their room key for the academy, we're at 8 months away right now. 8 months. The academy's 5 months. We're at 1 year and 1 month. They're going to go to their station. It's going to take a month. Now we're at 1 year and 2 months. You're going to do training for minimum 6 months. Training. We're over 1.5 years now. You don't become proficient, even if you're like a standout, till about 3 years in. We're looking at 4.5 years before we're really productive. Can we wait 4.5 years? Of course, the answer is no. Best case scenario to get one ICE officer through the academy and in the field is at least 2 years. 18 months to 2 years. Fast track. Fast track. I want you to please support our sponsors that keep us on air. Brandon House and worldviewtube.com. It takes a lot of money to get us up and running as a platform. Please support our sponsors. And the sponsor that I want to talk about right now is bellagrace.com. bellagrace.com. Shop bellagrace.com/truth. 2 products I use. I'm just going to tell you, I don't support anything I don't use. I use the gummies at night when my brain is spinning because of what Donald Trump wants to do, some kind of amnesty, or Lindsey Graham wants us to go to war, and I'm reading stuff all the way to bed and my mind's racing. I take the restorative sleep gummies, and then in the morning I take the Elixir. And I take the Elixir because I need to cut down on years of abuse on my body, playing sports, being in law enforcement, getting hurt in sports, and getting really hurt in law enforcement. And I want that inflammation out of my body, so I take the Elixir. 30-day challenge. I tell you, you do it for 30 days, you will do it forever. I am still on it, and I swear by it. Watch this commercial by Bella Grace. I don't know, Logan, if you have Dr. Lucky or Abby. One of the two is fine with me. Yep, there's Abby.
Start your day with the glow that comes from within. Introducing Bella Grace Elixir, a beauty secret that nurtures your skin from the inside out. Packed with natural ingredients, Bella Grace helps collagen production, reduce fine lines, and restore your youthful glow. And the best part, Bella Grace is perfect for your busy life. Take it with you on the go wherever you go. Bella Grace Elixir, discover the secret to timeless beauty. To get your hands on this product, go to www.shopbellagrace.com/truth.
When you begin to look at the totality of everything that's happening, you realize that we are living in the most lawless time in American history. I really believe that. We are now, Kash Patel is now coming out and saying he has damning evidence, whatever that means anymore. Has anybody been arrested? No. But he says he has damning evidence that China conspired to overthrow the 2020 election and had a strong hand in it. And the head of the CIA at the time, Joe Biden at the time, was taking kickbacks all the way back in 2016 from the Chinese. It's unbelievable. I want you to listen to, this is going to be Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. He's on Benny Johnson's show. It's 2 minutes long, but I want you to listen to what he's saying. We had our own government conspired with a foreign nation to overthrow our elections, and they were successful in overthrowing our elections. This is, it's mind-boggling because no one's doing a damn thing about it. It's like the greatest crime of the century. It happened in real time. We lived it. We were in it. We were all saying this doesn't make sense. Joe Biden got 15, 20 million more votes than any other president in the history of the United States of America. And then that fever pitch of that hatred of Donald Trump subsided under Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris went back to the normal Obama numbers. So Obama twice, Kamala Harris, Bush, Donald Trump first time, and John McCain, all of those people got the same amount of votes except one person, a man that has full-on dementia and Alzheimer's, that has prostate cancer, that shuffles around like he's lost in an old folks home. He got 20 more million votes than anyone else in American history, and no one says, whoa, hold on a second. Our government conspired with China to overthrow our elections, and they did it. Listen to this on Benny Johnson's show.
When something's infected, it hurts, right? When you press on it. And when Republicans were pressing for voter ID laws throughout the country, which again is wildly popular, it's one of the most popular. I mean, we have the polling. It's one of the most popular things in America right now. Check this out. Voter ID opinion. 85% of the country wants voter ID. 85%. So that means a preponderance of Democrats want voter ID. But when we were pushing for that, that was considered in 2021 the single most racist thing you could ever ask for, right, is voter ID. They were shrieking from the rooftops about that. And you'd have to assume that's because they had a fake ID scam set up. And that's how they cheated the 2020 election. You have to assume that. Why else would you rage at the sun so harshly against an issue that is so popular with the American people unless you had some type of fraudulent system set up to run fake IDs and get fake ballots?
Right. And keep in mind, they were saying Republicans were targeting minorities. We're specifically targeting minorities. That's what we're trying to suppress the minority vote. And yet the minority vote are the ones that are honestly disproportionately on federal programs. And yet every federal program that you're on, you're required to have a ID. Yes. You're required to have a Social Security card. You're required to be able to be identified that you're eligible for those benefits. And so it doesn't make any sense other than the fact that they're trying to be able to run the score up in certain circumstances where they want to control the election. There's no other excuse for it. And like I said, I'm not a conspiracy person, but it's just, you got to follow the math. And that's why I love math. Math either adds up or it doesn't. It's not a theory. At this point, it's math, because it's the amount of illegal voters that voted versus the ballots that came in versus traditional trend lines, which is what you were showing a while ago, of how did we spike in 2020 when historically you're running at a pretty level playing field? How is it that in 2020 you almost double your vote count and then go right back down 4 years later? Someone explain that one to me, because we didn't have that many more people actually register. We didn't have that many more people born in the United States, because remember, that's what Elon is trying to do, is trying to increase our our population because our birth rate is down. So that didn't just fluctuate by itself, because if it did, it would have stayed somewhat consistent 4 years later in 2024.
That's right. It'd be nice for somebody to explain this.
It'd be nice to someone explain it. Caleb, Logan, can you please pull that video back up, the very end, just where that graft is? Because I think this graft is, every time I see this graft, yeah, right there, it'd be great. Every time I see this graft, to anyone with a third grader, I could take this to third grade and say, third graders, this is what an anomaly is. This is something that is not normal. What is not normal? What is the anomaly in this picture? And third graders would go, well, of course, the giant blue line that goes up. So I want my audience to understand, that's Obama on the first blue. The second blue is Obama. That's Joe Biden with double the votes and Kamala Harris. Are you telling me during the fervor of Obama, the first black president, the first black-white president, we always seem to forget that his mom was white, but I digress. Look at the middle. A known stone-cold racist, a liar, someone that has run for president multiple times, lost every time, didn't even make it out of the primaries. He got double the votes, almost double the votes. And then it went back down for the first black, Indian, quasi, whatever the hell Kamala Harris is. Even that's her name, Kamala. We don't even know how to pronounce her name. Everyone gets the same except the racist old white man in his basement that couldn't put words together. And we're all supposed to sit here and nod our head and clap like a bunch of dumb seals that this actually happened in 2020. And when people say, well, let's move on. No, you can't. That's like taking on the mob and going, hey, you know what? I know they killed like 1,000 citizens and they extorted government officials and let's just forget that. Can we just move on? Let's focus on maybe they're doing some crimes now and we can take. No. This is the platform, the jumping off point of all of the corruption. This is all their crimes leading up to the big one, the 2020 election. We're dealing with the 2020 election right now. Why do we have millions, tens of millions of illegal aliens in our country? Because 2020 was stolen. Why are we $36 trillion in debt? Because the 2020 election was stolen. Why are we in wars in Ukraine? Because the 2020 election was stolen. We would have none of this. Our whole world would be different. Can you put up the Cash Patel post? He posted this yesterday, I think it was. I'm going to read it off my phone. This is his post. Cash Patel, FBI director. The FBI has located documents that detail alarming allegations related to the 2020 U.S. election, including allegations of interference by the CCP. I have immediately declassified the material and turned the documents over to Chairman Grassley for further review. In detail. When I hear in detail as a law enforcement guy, I'm hearing I have evidence of co-conspirators. I have all the lines connected dot to dot, line to line. I can trace it. I can go into IRS and banking and I can trace the payments. I can trace through the spider web of LLCs that the Biden family had, how they manipulated and laundered money through over 100, I think it was over 100 LLCs. What family has over 100 LLCs? I bet you Elon Musk doesn't have but a handful of LLCs. I bet you. There's no way he has hundreds. Our government, our way of life was stolen from us. And if that's not treason, and I'm going to go back to the very first video of this show, Steve Bannon said, if we do not get the arrest, if we do not get the the justice that we know must be dealt out, then every one of us will walk away. Every one of us will turn our backs and just walk away, because we know that there is no changing the government until there is a violent overthrow. And that's going to take a bunch of prominent, important situations to happen in order to get to that point. That takes time. We're trying to do it peacefully within the structure of our government. But we on the right, because we are Christian, because we have been bamboozled and lied to and propagandized, that we should just take it. That good Christians just take abuse. We turn the other cheek and we just continually take abuse because our impotent, cowardly God demands that of us. He demands that we're a reflection of him, and therefore, since we have taught generations after generations after generations that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and his Father, God, are impotent, they're cowardly, they never get angry. So I need you to reflect the Holy Trinity, and I need you to be as cowardly as possible, because that's what God would want. He would want you to have your family's money, time, talent, and life stolen for the benefit of the elites. Do you see how absurd that sounds? You see how absolutely asinine that sounds? And yet that's what's preached to us every Sunday. That's what is drilled down on us. History has proven, and I don't know when this is going to happen or if it will happen. I hope it doesn't happen. But history, you can't discount history, because what history shows is human nature. And history shows what humans are capable of. So historically, this has happened many, many times, where tyrannical governments become so oppressive that something snaps. Not 50% or 70% of the population, a small number of alpha male warriors and alpha female warriors rise up, and they destroy everything. They destroy everything. And you think America is immune to human nature? Look at what we have become. My audience, I want you to understand what we have become. We have become a nation that has murdered over 60 million babies. We're a nation that is dying. We don't have enough people. Is there a correlation between murdering our children and our population is dying? Isn't it amazing that people shrug their shoulders and are like, I don't know why our birth rates are so low? Because we're killing our children, you morons. We live in a society that the mothers and fathers, if they decide to have a child instead of murdering it in the womb, that they are now ripping the genitals off of those children, putting puberty blockers inside their bodies, castrating them chemically to change their gender. We're allowing men that are transgender, or they just feel like a woman and they dress as a woman. We have allowed them into our schools. We've allowed them to be our school counselors, where they have one-on-one closed-door meetings with our children. We allow them to come into our libraries dressed like a demon, like Satan, and read books to our children about how it's okay to be gender fluid, how it's okay. Yeah, I know you're 5-year-old, Johnny, and I know you don't understand this, but it's okay to have anal sex, Johnny. It's okay to have oral sex with another man, Johnny. Johnny, it's okay. You might just be a girl. And little Johnny's sitting there licking his ice cream, and he's like, oh my, this is a great story. Look at that guy with horns coming out of his head. And is that a man? I don't know. He's wearing a dress, got a hairy chest, but damn, this is weird, but it's entertaining. Endless wars. Societal upside down. What does that sound like to anybody? Anybody read the Bible lately? I'm not a theologian, but I'm not an idiot. And I'm looking at it just as a sophomoric understanding of the Bible, as I'm trying to get more and more educated and understanding of the Bible. But I'm not an idiot either. I can read words and put thoughts together and say, okay, well, this is exactly what God wants. This is what God's warning about. Wars upon wars upon wars, sexual perversion, stuff that would make the people in Sodom and Gomorrah blush. Can we get into the real world? Can we somehow segue into the acknowledgement that we're no longer the shiny city on the hill? Make America great again, MAGA. If you believe you're a MAGA person, then you are stating that America is not great right now, and you would be correct. I have a sponsor that I want to bring on, because I will tell you, there are times where I just need to go upstairs out of my studio, lay down on the sofa or my bed, and they don't even have to take a nap. Just lay down, because it's overwhelming. The constant barrage is overwhelming of corruption and theft and treason. And I use a MyPillow. I have MyPillows all over my house. I have 2. My wife has like 7. My son Joseph has like 6 or 7. I think our dog Cinnamon actually has one. My whole house is filled with MyPillows. No one sleeps on anything else but MyPillows. So go to mypillow.com. The promo code is JJ. mypillow.com, promo code JJ. This is why I love it. And this is why I love the products that I promote on my show. Made in America, by Americans, for Americans. So when you buy MyPillow, you're buying an American company, not some. I'm not telling you go buy MyPillow and I got slippers and I got sheets and I got towels. I got everything. I'm not telling you to go to mypillow.com just because they're American made. No, I'm telling you, number one, their products are great, highest quality. And then on top of that, they're made in America by Americans. I call that a win. It's just a win. Go to mypillow.com and put in promo code JJ. I got a segment. This next segment, my show's, it's going by fast, 15 minutes left. There's a new narrative coming out from the No Kings illegal alien riot. This is just we talk about human nature. This is the flip side. Once you go all the way to one side, which we're going to fly foreign flags, we're going to burn American flags, we're going to burn buildings, we're going to fight law enforcement, we're going to hurt people, we're going to do all this stuff. Human nature shows that the pendulum is going to swing back, and it's beginning to swing back. And we're starting to hear from legal immigrants that are absolutely shaken, upset, angry, because I want you to understand, in my totality of my career, I ran into people that were naturalized citizens all the time. They're so proud of being a naturalized citizen. They are so proud to be an American. Why? Because they have been on the other side, where they've been abused, oppressed. Now they come to America, a law enforcement officer stops them. They're not reaching for their wallet to give me $20 so they can pay me off. No, he's reaching in his back pocket to pull out his naturalization paperwork that has been laminated, and he proudly shows me. This happened to me almost every day. No, officer, here's my immigration papers. Oh, and my naturalization, I'm a citizen. Really? And then my first question always, where did you naturalize? Oh, it was in Los Angeles or Tucson. Well, what was it like? And you'll see them literally look up, because they're going into their brain to pull the memory down, and they get kind of emotional. And they recount the day that they swore an oath to America. And it's powerful to them, because they're an American. They know what it is like to not be an American citizen. So they become, in essence, some of the greatest patriots in our nation. That's the beauty of legal immigration. We bring people into our country that want to be like us and aspire for the American dream. We want those people in. They learn another language. They learn our customs and cultures, and their next generation, their first generation children become full-blown Americans in the sense of no accent, the absolute wearing jeans, being an American, rock and roll, going to sport, going to watch football games. That's what we want. We don't want 50 million people that don't love us and they're here to take. I want you to listen to these two men describe their journey to American citizenship and how they did it compared. And when you listen to that, I want you to think at the same time, 30 million people that hate us, that want to take from us the last 4 years, compared to these immigrants, these legal immigrants that we want. We want these people in our country. Go ahead and play this.
I'm a legal immigrant. I was born in Israel, and I came to America as a child, and my parents, they actually had to fill out applications, and I had to go get sworn in to get my citizenship. So why are these people, why are they allowed to cut the line when my family had no line to cut?
How long did that take?
Whatever it took, we stood by the line. Whatever this country told us was legal, we stood by that line.
Were you facing persecution?
I didn't come here illegally. I came here on a visa. I was a child. I came here legally.
Was your country persecuting you?
No, my country
was persecuting me, and I came here and I became an American citizen. I'm a legal alien.
My country wasn't persecuting me.
How long did that take?
For me to become a citizen, I did all the due process, man. Every due process, every paper. Years.
We don't care how long it takes.
Years. And even if it had taken 20 years, you know what? Let me tell you something. I've been here 22 years. You know when I became an American? A year ago. Best day of my life after the birth of my kids.
Okay, so can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Were you illegal before that day?
No, I was not illegal. I was following the rules. I was under visas. And the moment they said, this is 1 day over your visa, out. I was out. I was respecting the country that was welcoming me, that was giving me an opportunity and a chance.
Okay, so let me ask.
You don't love them? You don't feel, let me put it a different way. You don't, when you listen to those men and women like that, do you not feel an absolute connection with them? Like, they're not immigrants. They're just my brothers. They're the citizens of the country that I love, and they're citizens of the country that I love. We're connected. There is an absolute desire to be a part of their lives. You could hear it in their voice. I love this country. I want to follow every law that you have because you have welcomed me. You have given me an opportunity to do anything I want, to be anything I want. You've given me protection. You've given me protection from law, with law and order. You've created a system that is open and fair, where I can enrich myself through hard work, through intellectual property, and that nobody can just come and take it. I can speak freely. Those men know more about America and the beauty of America than 90% of Americans. That's just the truth. Now let's compare him, those two men, to there's Brad Lander. He's a mayor candidate in New York. And listen and watch the self-righteousness, the narcissism of these political leaders when they try to interfere with law enforcement.
Let's go. You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Sir, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. You don't have the, I'm not obstructing, I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant. By asking for a judicial warrant? You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant. Stay back, please, stay back.
We go too. Sorry. No way. I'm safe.
You can cut that, Logan, right there. I'm going to show you another video, but I have to comment on this. That's a mayor candidate in New York City. They're so stupid it hurts. You can't arrest a U.S. citizen. You don't have the authority. Well, yes, I do. I had the same authority as those ICE agents. Absolutely, I have this. I have the authority. You impeded. Let me. I just did a vault this morning on just this topic, and you can find the vault. You can go there, and this is a great way to support Worldview Tube. Go to worldviewtube.com/JJ. worldviewtube.com/JJ and go into the vault. I have long form interviews, and I have daily takes. And this is one of my daily takes, is the politicians are so narcissistic, they think they are outside of the rule of law. They can do whatever the hell they want. You're a citizen. You don't get to get involved in a law enforcement activity and demand that I stop doing my job in order to teach you or to instruct you what the hell I'm doing. You don't have that right. And if you do impede me, and the impediment is not just physical, it's the verbal, like screaming in my ear, where I have to take my attention away from someone I'm arresting, which is a threat to deal with you. Well, now you're under arrest. Here's another jackass. This is Senator Padilla. You have to say their names right. The Hispanic lawmakers, you have to say their names right in the Hispanic terms, or they get offended. So Senator Padilla from Santa Ana, from the Southern California area. I know who he is because I used to live in Southern California and I follow politics. The average person has no idea who this moron is. He was arrested because he barged into Kristi Noem's event when she was giving a speech and began yelling at her. None of the ICE agents knew who this stupid moron is, Senator Padilla. Watch him on the Senate floor begin to cry about being arrested. And I will tell you, in a very twisted way, I love it. I love the fact that beta male was brought to his knees, then forced, as he says, on his chest. And we put those shiny metal bracelets around his wrist, his little skinny beta male wrist. And we made him cry on the Senate floor. I take great joy in that. Go ahead and play this, please.
I was forced to the ground. First on my knees, and then flat on my chest. And as I was handcuffed and marched down a hallway, repeatedly asking, why am I being detained? Not once did they tell me why. I pray you never have a moment like this. But I will tell you.
You can stop that there, Caleb. Logan. I love it. I can tell you at that moment you cried like a little baby, like a little tiny baby, because you had no idea that we had no idea who you were. And you're just an average schmo, and now you're under arrest. It's great. This needs to happen every single day. I'm going to show you a video. Before I show you the video, I want to talk about being prepared. Sat123.com. I want you to be prepared. Sat phones, ballistic backpack, generators, having the ability to connect to Wi-Fi when everything goes down. I want you to be prepared. I want you to go to sat123.com/JJ. Sat123.com/JJ. We have their representative, Chris, from Sat123, comes on our show every Friday to discuss their products, and they are incredible. Go to that. And I want you to also support another sponsor, and that's Patriots Made. patriotsmade.com/JJ. Stop going to Walmart, paying money for Walmart to give dividends to their heiress, Christy Walton, who then turns around and spends hundreds, if not millions of dollars on No Kings. The riots that we just went through this last weekend and will continue to go through this week. Stop giving the enemy money and start giving your money to your partners in this war. Patriots Made, just like MyPillow, just like Bella Grace, just like Sat123, Americans building American products on American shore, selling to Americans. It's called win-win. Go to patriotsmade.com/JJ. Now, I want to take you, as my show's ending, I want to show you someone that I have respect for him because he's incredibly successful. I don't believe in 90% of what this man says politically. 99% politically, I don't agree with. But I want you to listen to what he says on The View as a first-generation legal immigrant, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Listen to this.
If you are an immigrant, you're an immigrant in this country. Yeah. Did you have a visceral reaction to what they're doing, what ICE is doing, when you see the videos of it?
Well, I tell you, you said that the immigrant, I'm so proud and happy that I was impressed by the American people like that. I mean, imagine I came over here with the age of 21, with absolutely nothing. And then to create a career like that. I mean, in no other country in the world could you do that. Yeah. Every single thing, if it's my bodybuilding career, if it's my acting career, becoming governor, the beautiful family that I've created, all of this is because of America.
That's true.
And so this is why I'm so happy to see firsthand that this is the greatest country in the world, and this is the land of opportunity. And I think because I'm such a proud American and a proud immigrant that came to America, I was asked to do, on July 4th, a big speech, the keynote speech at Mount Vernon, where George Washington was laid to rest, and where he lived and all that, to celebrate the 250th anniversary of America, the existence of America. And I will be doing the speech there. They asked me because I'm an immigrant, and there will be 7,000 some people there, and there will be people that will be sworn in and will become citizens that day.
That's great.
So it's really a great celebration. And this is what this is all about, is to celebrate people becoming Americans and coming to America and all that. And so I just think the world of the great kind of a history that we have with immigrants in America. But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal, and those people that are doing illegal things in America and they're the foreigners, they are not smart. Because when you come to America, you're a guest, and you have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house and I'm a guest, then I will do everything I can to keep things clean and to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do, rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that. So that doesn't really work in this country. So I think the important thing is, when you become an immigrant, to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, in jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something back. You have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to pay back to America and to go and do something for your community for no money whatsoever. Give something back to after-school programs, Special Olympics, or whatever it is. Make this country a better place.
What can I add to that? We're beginning to see truth bombs come out across America. There is no more immigrant, illegal immigrant. Nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear a simple, thank you, America, for providing an incredible life for me. Just Schwarzenegger said, it's time to give back to America and stop taking.
But with Brandon, it's always cutting edge stuff happening in the world, and it's not just from the political angle, because you can get that on other platforms, but it's always from the biblical angle. So you're dealing with a guy that loves Jesus, you're dealing with a guy that's very intelligent, you're dealing with a guy that is cutting edge conservatism, and you're dealing with a guy that wants to be biblical all at the same time. And so for that reason alone, I hope many, many people will not just lift up his ministry in prayer, but will also financially get behind it, because from the angle I'm trying to describe, he really is the only game in town. And we desperately need it in these last days. Can I get an amen to that?
All right, welcome everybody to Code Blue. It is June the 18th, 2025. And so, we are Code Blue. We're honored to be here on the Brandon House platform. Of course, we talk about medical